Hi everyone, it's Nicole Bridgen again, bringing to you another Lions Quest video. We're still in the unit of health and prevention, and today we're going to be talking about making responsible decisions. And before I get into a step-by-step process about how to know if you're making a good decision or a bad decision, let's look at exactly what are decisions. You're at a stage in your life right now, adolescence. You're in 6th grade, where you'll be making some more decisions without somebody looking over your shoulder, watching you, making sure that you're doing the right thing. So, would you be proud of that decision? If somebody was watching you, there is one way to kind of think about the choices that you're making. But also, you have to think about the consequences that are going to follow your choice. Now, some 6th graders have told me in the past that when they hear the word consequence, they think of it as a negative thing. And that is not the case. A consequence is really what follows your decision. So all decisions have consequences. Every choice, every action has a consequence. That consequence could be positive or it could be negative. Good choices will lead to positive consequences, good consequences. Negative consequences follow the bad choices, okay, or bad decisions. So in our last video, we talked about goals, setting goals, short-term, long-term goals, and obstacles you can come across while you're working towards those goals. Good decision making is essential in order to achieve those goals that you're setting for yourself. So I'm going to read to you a story about another 6th grader, Michael, who has the goal of making a soccer team. And we'll talk about the good choices he's made up until this point, along with some decisions that he's going to, some tough choices or decisions he's going to have to make in order to continue with his goal. Michael wants to play on the soccer team this year. He has been training for months by making healthy decisions to enable him to achieve his goal. He is running, swimming, strength training, eating nutritious meals, and getting plenty of sleep. Some of Michael's friends have started smoking, and they pressure Michael to join them by saying he is not cool if he doesn't smoke. He wants to fit in, and he wants to be healthy and make the soccer team. What should Michael do? Okay, so we have to think about what decision Michael needs to make. Michael right now is in this situation, right? Do you think he's trying to decide whether he should smoke or not smoke? Really, that is not even an option for Michael. Smoking is illegal when you're 11 or 12 years old. And of course, it goes against everything that he has been working towards. So when we look at a situation, really it's like, what does he do now? Okay, he has his friends, they're pressuring him to do something. And so we want to think about what options he has. Again, we know smoking is not healthy and we know it's illegal. That's not even an option. So what is he going to do when his friends say that he needs to smoke in order to be cool? Really, I'm going to share with you what some other 6th graders have shared with me, that if they were put in this situation with their friends, first of all, they're not very good friends, and they're not true friends if they would try to pressure them to do something they don't want to do or shouldn't do. They had also suggested that Michael's about to join a whole new soccer team where there'll be plenty of people who have the same goals as him and same likes and interests, and he'll be spending a lot of time with them, and that hopefully he'll make other new, good, and different friends. So when we're thinking about the decision Michael has to make, it's really what positive decision does he have to make, and that is what should he do with these current friends that he has. And oh, I'm sorry, let me share this also. Other 6th graders have suggested maybe he could step up to these friends or talk to them individually and help encourage them to not smoke. because it's not healthy for any of them. And maybe some of them are just going along with the crowd and they wouldn't even want to. So maybe he could help step up and be a good friend that way. Okay, so making good decisions is a skill that people learn. You're not born with this type of knowledge. And it's certainly something that people who are responsible and making responsible decisions, they've practiced this over time. It comes with experience, certainly from good guidance and practice. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to practice going through the thought process, the steps to good decisions. So let's just read through the 6 steps to good decisions and then we'll practice it. Step 1, identify the decision to be made by developing a question that frames it. Step 2, think about the options. And then you go through a series of questions here. Will it lead to trouble? Is the option against the law, school, or family rules, or the teachings of my religion? Is it harmful to me or others? Would it disappoint my family or other adults who are important to me? Is it wrong to do? Would I be hurt or upset if someone did this to me? Throw out all negative options. Step 3, predict the consequences of each positive option. Step 4, choose the best course of action. Step 5, do what you decide to do. And step 6, rethink your decision. So first of all, please excuse the background noise. Where everybody is stuck at home, and so every place I go is noisy. I'm trying. But back to a scenario. Okay, so you have the steps to good decisions. Let's think about this scenario. Imagine that you're hiking with your friends and you discover a lake. And you're with a group of friends who are talking about jumping into the lake from a very high place. Now you have no idea how deep that lake is and how high above the lake the spot is that they want to jump into. Nobody has experience doing this. Of course, you want to be thought of as cool, but you're worried. It seems a little bit dangerous. So, what could you say to your friends? If we look at step 1, you're identifying the decision to be made by developing a question that frames it. First of all, my thought is, what am I going to say to my friends? Or what should I do in this situation? So step 2, let's think about options. And I'm going to go back to conversations I've had with other 6th graders. So, some of them had thought that jumping in the lake wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't so high. So let's imagine that as an option. Let's imagine option 1 is jump in the lake. Option 2 could be telling your friends no, that you don't want to. And option 3 might be wait and see what happens if another friend goes first. So let's just go through all of those options with the think about it step. Step 2. First of all, jumping in the lake. The first question we want to ask is, will it lead to trouble? Well, could that possibly lead to trouble? Yes. Okay. Nobody knows how deep that water is. And I'm sure you've heard stories of people who've done dangerous things like just jumping into water and breaking something or getting sick or possibly drowning or whatever. So could it lead to trouble? Yes. So I would consider this to be a negative option and not go any further with this option. So we're going to choose not to jump in the lake. Certainly not first, but we'll consider option number 3 when we get there. Option number 2 is, so say no to your friends and don't jump into the lake. As we're going through step 2, we're thinking about the options. Will that lead to trouble? No, except for maybe having to, disappoint your friends or work through how it is that you're going to convince your friends to not make this poor choice. is that option against the law, school, or family rules of the teaching of your religion? No. Is it harmful to you or others? No. Would it disappoint my family or other adults who are important to me? No. Is it wrong to not jump in the lake? No. Would I be hurt or upset if someone did this to me? No. And so that makes this a positive option. A positive option is to say no to your friends. Finally, we were going to consider the option of letting a friend go first and seeing what happens. Again, if we were to weigh this option with a number of questions, okay, will that lead to trouble? Yeah, absolutely could. Just like you could get hurt, they could get hurt. And I'm sure you don't want to watch your friend get hurt and then have to, take care of him or her. And I think we're going to find out that this is going to be a negative option no matter what. So, is the option against the law? Maybe. Is it harmful to me or others? Possibly. Would it disappoint your family or other adults who are important to me if you made that choice? Probably. Is it wrong to do? Yes. So anyway, this is what we consider to be another negative option. We're going to throw that one out, okay? So again, when we look at the possible consequences that could come with those two options, either jumping into that lake to, be cool or to look cool to your friends, or jumping into the lake after one of your friends does it first, both of those are bad and negative options, so we're going to throw them out. The positive option that we're going to continue to consider would be saying no to our friends, certainly trying to convince them that it's a bad choice. So we'll go to step 3 with predicting the consequences of that positive option. Your friends might be disappointed, or they might be relieved and say, yes, I'm glad somebody said something. And step 4, choose the best course of action. Move forward with that, and you can help them with their disappointment, or you can help them understand why it is that you're making that choice and that you're firm in that choice. Step 5, do what you decided to do, okay? You're not going to waver, you're not going to let them try to convince you. And step 6, rethink your decision, which means basically reflecting. After you've made that choice and you're dealing with the consequences that come from making that choice, take a step back and recognize how your choice has affected you. Again, if the consequence is having some friends that are mad at you, that is far better than having a consequence of getting harmed, in this case from jumping high up on a ledge to a lake that you don't know anything about. Here's a scenario for you to practice on and go through all 6 steps. Decisions. You are invited to a party by some people at school, but they don't like your good friend and told you not to tell him. What should you do? So just some reflecting questions for you to think about. First, what are the 6 steps to making good decisions? So what? How do you think the steps to good decisions are different from what young people sometimes are inclined to do when they make decisions? And finally, what are some examples of how you think using the steps to good decisions will benefit you? Thank you again for joining me. If you would like to respond with answers to any of these questions or any questions that you might have, I would be eager to hear your questions and to see your responses. Thank you so much. Again, I'm Nicole Bridgen from Lions Quest, and hope you're doing well out there.